If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me you hate my videos, but the best way to do it is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, young Dolph is put in handcuffs, and Cardi B throws shots at 6ix9ine. Plus, Bandhunta Izzy talks about robbing Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, and a bunch of other rappers. Let's talk hip-hop. You see right there, it's like a little photo, whatever, of young Dolph, right? And apparently he was riding around in Atlanta. He's in a car with a couple of dudes, right? His boys, his team or whatever. And the police just pull him over, right? Now, for what reason the police pull him over, I don't know, right? The police say that he didn't have his seatbelt on. We'll get to that, but they say he didn't have his seatbelt on, right? We'll get to that. But you know, once the police approached the vehicle, they said they smelled weed in the car, right? And because they smelled weed in the car, they took him out, right? And they handcuffs all his homeboys, and they have him sitting on the side of the curb like that. And they got young Dolph standing up in handcuffs too, right? And young Dolph was driving because, you know, that's his G-Wagon right there, right? It's crazy, right? Because the police, they was hype, right? And I'm telling you, they began hype. They be like, ooh, it's a young black man in a car that I can't afford. I just want to pull him over, right? And if there's 4 of them, then somebody got to have a gun on him. Somebody got to have some weed on him. Somebody selling crack, you know what I'm saying? And so they was really trying to target these dudes. And if you ask me, I think that it was like racial profiling, target, young black man in a nice car, let's get him. They got to have something on him, right? Yo, thank God, yo, young Dolph didn't have nothing on him at all. No guns, no drugs, not even a small gram of weed, no nothing, right? So they had to, nobody in the car had anything on them, and they had to let young Dolph and everybody go, right? And then they didn't even give him a ticket, right? They gave him a warning, right? Because they were like, all right, man, go ahead, right? So the police say that the reason for pulling him over was because he didn't have his seatbelt on, yet they didn't give him a ticket for not having a seatbelt on at least, right? So if the paperwork is telling the truth, and the paperwork shows that they didn't pull him over for anything because there's no damn paperwork because he didn't get no ticket. So, you know, hey man, shout out to young Dolph, and I know they was tight. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Yo, Cardi, is 6ix9ine a snitch? Is he a rat?
Yo, that's Cardi B.
Yo, alright, so Cardi B was just out chilling or whatever like that, and it looked like she was trying to be like on the low. She had like 2 security dudes around her. She had a hood on, it was pulled mad tight. She's like, I don't want nobody to know I'm me, right? But she ended up like taking some pictures with some fans and signing some autographs or whatever, and that's cool, right? So somebody has their phone out, and they're like, yo, Cardi B is 6ix9ine a snitch, right? And her face is priceless. She goes, well, so you know, if you know Cardi B, you know, that means hell yeah, he's a snitch. But I ain't gonna say it, but what do you think, right? They got the dude, you know, testifying on the stand, pointing out people, talking about what color suit they have on. So yeah, he's a snitch, right? So the whole thing is, right, that 6ix9ine is cooperating witness number 2, right? But who is cooperating witness number 1, right? That's the whole thing. Everybody's still trying to figure that out, right? And there's this dude named CEO Chris, right? And I'm not saying that CEO Chris is cooperating witness number 1 at all, but the thing that you need to know about CEO Chris is that he was arrested for, I guess they had him under investigation, and he ended up getting arrested for narcotics, right? So he lives in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, but the FBI, they found some apartment that was in like Queens and Forest Hills or something like that, and in that apartment, he was getting packages delivered there with his name on it, Christian Cruz, which is his real name, from China. And these packages from China had a whole bunch of like packaged up narcotics, right? And I don't know what kind of narcotics it is or anything like that, but what you need to know is that CEO Chris didn't go to jail for that, even though they found him with all these narcotics getting delivered from China, right? And I suppose CEO Chris then, you know, bought that stuff to bought that stuff to Mel Matrix so that he could distribute it amongst his group here in Brooklyn and basically make money for 9 Trey, right? The whole situation though is that, you know, 6ix9ine was telling, even, you know, Jorge, which is the driver of 6ix9ine, was telling too, right? And I think that Jorge was hired actually by 6ix9ine's baby moms. Like, he is, I think, probably her uncle or something like that, right? But even he started telling. What happened was the FBI picked him up. They threatened that they would deport him. So he basically said, okay, I'll work with you guys, right? And so that's why they have such clear footage of the robbery that happened with 6ix9ine, where he was in the car and getting kidnapped, right? They have audio and visual, and it's pretty good, right? So it turns out that he took the stand and he said, yeah, I was working with them, and he had to turn in 62 cameras. So he was wired up. He had everything wired up. So they had footage of that. They had footage of 6ix9ine where, well, not 6ix9ine, but of somebody with a hoodie on who ran up to 6ix9ine's crib when they retrieved all the jewelry and all the money from 6ix9ine's baby moms when he called her and told her to bring it downstairs, right? So they got that too, which is, I think it looks like surveillance footage from like a house across the street or something like that. But that was the robbery that they did on 6ix9ine. And then they have just mad wiretaps, right? And they had Mel Murda's phone tapped hard body, right? And every single conversation that Mel Murda had, they had him on there, right? So the whole story, I guess, goes that Mel Murda, well, the feds picked up 6ix9ine and they talked to him, and they wanted 6ix9ine to turn and snitch on everybody from 9 Trey, just like they wanted Jorge to snitch on everybody from 9 Trey, right? 6ix9ine didn't know that they picked up Jorge at the time, but Jorge said, okay, cool, I'll work with you guys. I don't want to be deported, right? But 6ix9ine told the feds that, no, I'm not going to work with you. And actually, initially, 6ix9ine was like, no, I'm not working with you, right? A couple days later, he does his last interview on the Breakfast Club, and he basically tries to denounce his affiliation with 9 Trey and the gang, right? So he's like, yeah, I'm not 9 Trey. These guys are dirty, grimy ass bloods from Brooklyn. I made 9 Trey. That's my thing. And I don't think that he was saying he made it in the sense of made the gang, but I think that he means that he made it as in, like, he made it accepted in pop culture, right? He made it so that, you know, middle American white kids, 11-year-olds are screaming, Treyway. So, you know, he made it like that, I guess. You know, he made it popular, right? Basically saying that he doesn't have any ties to Mel Murda or Mel Matrix, or he doesn't have any ties to Shotty or anything like that, right? And he was trying to publicly denounce 9 Trey because he wanted to separate himself from them because the feds already picked him up and kind of told him what was going on, right? So Mel Murda saw that interview and was very upset and felt very disrespected, and then he called up Shotty and, you know, wanted to talk to Shotty and tell him what Shotty needed to do.
I don't know who this kid that he's talking to. You didn't create Treyway. We created you. You was a mutt. We found you on this, and we put a muzzle on you, and we showed you how to be a dog, nigga. You was a mutt. You don't know nothing about this lifestyle that you perpetrated. But you know, come on, Scott. We made you who you was, so you could help us in our situation, nigga. Swap it out. Don't try to act like it wasn't an even exchange. We gave you life, and you introduced us to the bag more than what we was, nigga. That's it, nigga.
All right, so y'all see that Mel Murda is highly upset, right? And I guess Mel Murda really didn't think that the feds tapped his phone or that they were looking at him or for him or anything like that, because he's just talking freely on here about what he wants to do to 6ix9ine and blah, 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 right? He calls up Shotty and he's like, yo, Shotty, what you doing, right? And Shotty's like, I'm just trying to get a part for my car, you know? And then he's like, yo, your boy 6ix9ine was up there at the Breakfast Club saying all this and that, how he created Treyway and he's disrespecting us and blah, 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 and we got to do something about it, right? And Shotty is laughing. Shotty's just laughing it off. He's like, okay, yeah, Now, I don't know if Shotty was laughing it off because he's in his mind thinking like, yo, you wildin', because Shotty could have been like, yo, chill, like not on the phone, right? But Shotty also might have really felt love for 6ix9ine and really didn't want to really believe that 6ix9ine was trying to denounce everybody like that. And plus, 6ix9ine was really feeding Shotty a whole bunch of money, and so maybe he didn't just really want to believe it, right? So I don't know why Shotty was laughing it off, but it was smart. The fact that he was laughing it off and kind of just being like, yo, you know, he didn't tell Mel Murda, chill, like shut up, you on the phone. He didn't say that though, right? And then basically the whole conversation, because that was just a little clip, but the conversation's a couple minutes long, ended with Shotty being like, yo, listen, I gotta drive out to Philly for a little bit. Do you wanna come with me? Asking Mel Murder, right? And Mel Murder was like, yeah, I'll go with you. And then Shotty was like, all right, cool. Just be dressed, because after I get this part from my car, I'm gonna come scoop you. So I guess that Shotty was basically on his way to Philly anyway, but he had to get something for his car, right? And that's when Mel Murder happened to call him while he was like up in AutoZone or something, right? But this whole thing is crazy because Mel Murder was on the phone talking to Shotty and everything like that, right? Basically, Shotty ended up telling him that he's gonna go up to TMZ and that he's going to talk to them and kind of let them know that 6ix9ine wasn't really a gang member or anything like that, and that they just let him claim the gang so that he could provide money for the gang, right? I don't think that that's smart to do, because you're admitting to money laundering on TMZ. But that was Shotty's plan and his idea, right? And then you all heard the audio again from Mel Murder's phone that went viral last week. Well, Mel Murder is basically talking on the phone to Jim Jones, telling Jim Jones like, yo, we about to go up to TMZ. I just had a conversation with Shotty, and that's what he said, that we all gonna go on TMZ and denounce 6ix9ine, right? Where Jim Jones just was giving advice to his friend, right? Jim Jones didn't really say anything incriminating, but Jim Jones was like, listen, do not go on TMZ and sit up there and let the cameras be all in your face talking about, 9 Trey Way, Blood, 6ix9ine, and all this, right? Jim Jones was saying, let Shotty do that, because Shotty is very articulate and he can explain it in a way that will make sense and not incriminate all of y'all. As a friend, Jim Jones was telling him that, right? Which is crazy. But then also, there's another phone call again from Mel Murder's phone, where after, because a couple days after 6ix9ine did the Breakfast Club interview, he got arrested and taken in by the feds. Shotty got arrested, Crippy got arrested, and also Food Banger got arrested too, right? So that was just the first people that got arrested, the first round, because they came back and arrested a bunch of other people, to include Mel Murder. But they let Mel Murder rock out for about a week and a half, where he didn't get picked up at all. And I really don't think that Mel Murder even thought that he was gonna get picked up. But anyway, so Mel Murder ends up getting picked up by the feds. But before that happened though, he's on the phone and he calls CEO Chris, right? And he's like, yo, CEO Chris. Well, yo, Chris, man, listen, this is what's going on. Shotty and 6ix9ine and Food Banger and Crippy all just got picked up by the feds. It's crazy. They got some racketeering charges, some RICO charges. And then CEO Chris is on the phone like, what? For real? They got these charges? That's crazy. And then CEO Chris starts going, well, I didn't really like Shotty anyway, right? Which is insane, because Mel Murder, that Shotty is your man's man, right? And so Mel Murder's just like, yeah, whatever, like laughing about it. He was like, yeah, yo, Shotty is a snake. He be stealing and all that stuff like that, and that ain't cool. And Mel Murder was on the phone like, yeah, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shotty, blah, blah, blah. I guess Mel Murder thought that he wasn't gonna get picked up for real, right? And then CEO Chris goes, yo, only person I like from your group, talking about Mel Murder's group, the only person I like from your crew is Harv. Harv is a real dude, a real stand-up dude, but all them other cats I don't even mess with like that, right? And then Mel Murder's like, yeah, because Harv ain't gonna steal from you, right? And then he goes, yeah, if anything, Harv is gonna take it from you. He ain't gonna just steal like behind your back. And then CEO Chris is like, yeah, just like what he did with 6ix9ine. And then they on the phone just laughing it up and everything like that. So everybody, they are implementing themselves all over the phone right now. It's crazy. And you are admitting that you know exactly what Harv did to 6ix9ine, right? It's all insane, right? And I guess this is why Shotty decided to take his 15 years and be done, because if not, he was gonna really get it, right? And Mel Murder decided to plead guilty too, but they didn't give him a sentence yet, because after all this, man, I don't know if Mel Murder is ever getting out of prison, right? And it's just because they have everybody on wiretap, right? Which is insane, yo. But other people are telling, Jorge definitely started working with the feds. 6ix9ine obviously started working with the feds once they picked him up and he got arrested. Who knows who CW1 is, but CEO Chris never got any jail time for them finding all those narcotics in his apartment from China. And then, Shotty didn't tell on anybody and took a plea. So we'll have to see what's going on, but this whole thing is crazy. And that is your 6ix9ine update. Let me know what y'all think about all this in the comments.
gon' tell you how to rob.
See, I was gon' rob 6ix9ine, but he gonna tell at the end. I was gon' rob Young Melly, but he busy shooting his friends. I was gon' rob Lil Uzi with a big pump. I was gon' rob Lil Pump with a big Uzi. They gon' put money on my head trying to get to me. Nigga like Jeezy, I'm going like Big Goose. Even with Khalifa, don't want no smoke. Bitch, I AR, sank your little boat. Shoot like a J with a K, no coat. Bet they gon' take all they see me go. Put that shit on set. If I catch offset, I'ma just give Lil Cardi a don't check.
Look, yo, so that was Bandhunta Izzy, right? And this joint is fire, right? He was like, I was gonna rob 6ix9ine, but he gonna tell in the end. I was gonna rob Young Melly, but he busy shooting his friends. He was like, I was gonna rob Lil Uzi. He said, I was gonna rob Lil Uzi with a big pump. I was gonna rob Lil Pump with a big Uzi, right? And his wordplay is kind of nice, yo. He said, I got the Drake, I got the 40, right? Basically saying two things at once. He's saying I got the Draco and I got the 40 cal, but he's saying Drake's name and 40's name, right? And you know that Drake and 40 work together. And this is just fire, right? So the whole thing is, right? He said, I'm gonna rob Offset. I'm gonna give Cardi B a dome check. Basically like hit over the head with probably like gun butter or something like that, right? And we all know that Bandhunta Izzy is not for real in this, right? So this whole thing is actually paying homage to 50 Cent How to Rob, right? So back in the day, and I want to say like maybe 1999 or something like that, like 20 years ago, right? And I don't even know if Bandhunta Izzy was alive when this came out, right? But 50 Cent came out with this song called How to Rob, when he's like, mad rappers in the beginning of the song, like, yo, 50 Cent, tell him how I feel robbing in the street, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And 50 Cent is talking about robbing, like, I'm gonna rob Juvenile for his cash money teeth. I told him I wanted it all. He said, even my gold piece, you know, I robbed Black Street on the back street in the black Jeep. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about robbing DMX. See what Jigga just sold? 4 mil, he got something to live for. Don't want a nigga putting 4 through that Bentley coupe door. Like 50 Cent did this 20 years ago, and the name of the song is How to Rob. So then Bandhunta Izzy comes out with the same song and names it How to Rob, right? And you know that he's like paying homage to 50 Cent. It's not biting or nothing like that. It's strictly paying homage because 50 Cent's idea was crazy, it was dope, and 50 Cent is like one of the original trolls. And when he came out with that song, he said he was talking about robbing Big Pun. He was like, I robbed Big Pun without a gun, snatch his piece and run. This nigga weighed 400 pounds. How he gonna catch me, son? You know what I'm saying? Even the hook was like, this ain't serious. Being broke can make you delirious. You know, it was really funny, right? And 50 Cent was trolling even back then. This was before Instagram, before Twitter, before social media. So the best way for you to troll somebody was in a song, right? But a lot of the rappers thought it was funny and they laughed it off. But Jay-Z didn't really like how 50 Cent was really talking about him like that. And Jay-Z and 50 Cent had a little bit of beef after that, right? Because Jay-Z was taking that shit serious, right? But it seems like Bandhunta Izzy is really paying homage. And even in the video that Bandhunta Izzy put out, in the beginning of it, it's like he's in a hotel room or something like that, listening to 50 Cent How to Rob on his headphones, and you could hear it, right? And then he like falls asleep on the bed and he starts dreaming, and then that's when the video starts where he's dreaming about robbing a lot of the new rappers of today, right? It's funny, man. It's cool. It's dope. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I like when young dudes like pay homage to like older dudes and just basically like, yeah, y'all fucks with you, right? And this is gonna be dope because 50 Cent probably gonna see this and be like, oh, I fuck with this nigga, right? But let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.